15 weapons that just became legal. It's not every day the floodgates actually open, but after the regulatory shift in 2025, something wild happened. Firearms that were buried in legal limbo, suppressed platforms, braced pistols, even court battle designs started hitting shelves with clean paperwork. No more games, no more gray zones, just approvals and gear we've been waiting years to run. So today we're breaking down 15 firearms that are officially back in action or here for the first time. These aren't range toys with fresh paint. If you like guns that push boundaries, or if you've been waiting for the green light to grab something that used to be untouchable, this list is for you. Starting with one that's compact, aggressive, and finally cleared for launch, Bushmaster Bravo Zulu pistol. Now, this one's been turning heads, and if you know AR pistols, you know why. The Bushmaster Bravo Zulu is a short-barreled AR platform with the most aggressive muzzle device you'll see on something this compact. We're talking about the Snake Charmer 2 Break sitting on the front like it's daring you to pull the trigger. It's loud, it's visible, and it's built to kill recoil before it hits your shoulder. But it wasn't always this easy to own. See, for a while, the brace setup had this thing sitting in a legal gray zone. Some dealers wouldn't touch it. Nobody wanted to poke the bear with the ATF breathing down their neck. Yeah, but that all changed after 2025. With the brace rules rolled back, the Bravo Zulu is officially just a pistol again. No tax stamp, no NFA nonsense. That means you get a compact AR platform that you can shoulder legally, runs hard, and clears doorways like it was built for it. The muzzle brake redirects gas pressure in 3 directions, which on a platform this light makes a massive difference. This thing was built for control. And now, finally, you can run it without worrying about whether it counts as a rifle, a pistol, or a letter to your lawyer. If you've been eyeing a braced AR pistol that doesn't play games, the Bravo Zulu just moved from wish list to buy list. Kel-Tec PR-57. Most modern pistols load from the grip. This one loads from the top. Now, the Kel-Tec PR-57 is what happens when you take a 1896 broom handle Mauser concept and bolt it onto a polymer pistol that looks like it fell out of a sci-fi movie. You take a 10-round stripper clip, you slot it into the open action, you push down. The rounds drop into an internal magazine. No detachable box mag, no speed reloads. Just a mechanical oddity that defies every muscle memory you've built shooting modern pistols. The manual of arms is bizarre. The aesthetics are retrofuturism at its peak, and the reload process is so visually distinct that it stops people mid-conversation at the range. It's chambered in 5.7 by 28. It's light, and it handles like Kel-Tec never stopped designing weird guns that somehow work. This thing exists because someone at Kel-Tec asked, "What if we brought back clip loading?" And nobody told them no. So if you've been looking for something that's equal parts conversation starter and legitimate defensive platform, the PR-57 just hit the market. Franklin Armory Reformation. Most guns stay in their lane. The Reformation didn't. This thing was designed to walk right up to the line, look the ATF in the eye, and dare them to blink. And they did. The Franklin Armory Reformation isn't a rifle. It's not a shotgun either. It runs a patented straight-cut barrel. No twist, no rifling, no smoothbore. Legally, that puts it outside the NFA. And that's exactly why the ATF tried to shut it down. But here's the twist. Franklin Armory took them to court. A federal judge ruled the agency overstepped. The DOJ didn't even bother to appeal, which means the Reformation is now officially back. And you don't need a tax stamp to own it. So you're looking at a short barrel, full stock, rifle caliber performance without the NFA headache. Chambered in either 5.56 or 300 blackout, it gives you power in a compact package. It comes stock with a vertical foregrip, quality furniture, and a functional muzzle device. And here's the kicker. You can take it across state lines. No permission slip needed. That used to be unthinkable with anything this compact and this capable. If you want something that punches like a rifle, handles like a pistol, and sits in a legal category all its own, the Reformation isn't just back. It's making a statement. We've covered compact platforms and legal engineering. Now we're moving into suppression. These next firearms weren't just designed to be quiet. They were built from the ground up to integrate silence into every component. Dead Air Nomad TIOTB. Most suppressors attach to the muzzle and add length to the front. This one slides over the barrel. The Dead Air Nomad TIOTB is an over-the-barrel design. Instead of adding length, it reclaims space by wrapping back toward the action. That changes the balance point. That changes how the rifle handles. And it keeps the overall profile shorter than a standard suppressed setup. Titanium construction keeps the weight down. The modular baffles let you tune suppression versus back pressure, depending on your load and platform. It's not just quieter. It's engineered to stay integrated without turning your rifle into a front-heavy liability. For a while, suppressor approvals were moving at a crawl. 6 months, a year, sometimes longer. That killed the market for innovative designs like this, but now that's changed. Approvals are moving fast, no more limbo, and designs like the Nomad T I finally get to function the way they were intended. If you've been looking for a suppressor that doesn't destroy your rifle's handling characteristics, this one just became a lot easier to own. Laogo Alien Creator Evolution. When you fire a pistol, the slide moves. The red dot moves with it. Your sight picture shifts. Not on this gun. The Laogo Alien Creator Evolution mounts the optic to a fixed rail. The slide reciprocates around it. The dot stays stationary. That means your sight picture doesn't shift during recoil. Your follow-up shots are faster, and the recoil impulse feels like it's been surgically removed. The bore axis is so low that high-speed footage looks like a physics glitch. And the gun fires. The muzzle barely lifts. The dot doesn't move. It's not magic. It's geometry and mechanical isolation taken to an extreme level. The manual of arms is different. The grip angle is aggressive. And the price tag reflects the engineering that went into making this thing function. But if you've ever wanted to see what happens when you completely rethink pistol architecture from the ground up, this is it. The Alien Creator Evolution isn't trying to be a better Glock. It's trying to be something else entirely. And for shooters who want flat shooting precision in a handgun, it delivers. HKP7 Knockoff. Most striker-fired guns cock when you rack the slide. The P7 cocks when you squeeze the grip. It's a modern revival of the HKP7. And the manual of arms is tactile, in a way modern pistols just aren't. Down, you wrap your hand around the grip. You physically crush the front strap. That cocks the striker. Now you can pull the trigger, let go of the grip, and the gun decocks automatically. No manual safety, no DA/SA trigger. Just a firing system that requires deliberate engagement. It's safe carry without external controls. It's deliberate action without a heavy trigger pull. And it feels completely alien to anyone raised on Glocks and M&Ps. The squeeze cocker mechanism was designed in the 1970s for German police. It disappeared for decades because it was expensive to manufacture and weird to train on. Now it's back, built with modern materials and tighter tolerances. BioFire Smart Gun. No slide rails, no hammer. No external controls you'd recognize. The BioFire looks like it was designed in a lab, not a gun factory. Because it was. See, this is the first production fire-by-wire handgun. Pulling the trigger sends an electrical signal, not a mechanical connection. It reads your fingerprint, it scans your face, and if you're not the authorized user, it won't fire. The implications are obvious, the controversies are predictable, but the engineering is undeniable. It unlocks in under a second for the registered user. For anyone else, it's a paperweight. The electronics are redundant, the battery is rechargeable, and the manual override exists if the system fails. For a while, smart gun technology was vapor. Lots of prototypes, lots of press releases, nothing that actually made it to production and worked reliably. But the BioFire changed that. It's in production, it functions. And whether you think it's the future or a liability is up to you. So if you've been curious about what biometric firearms actually look like when they work, this is it. We've covered suppression. We've covered smart systems. Now we're moving into thermal management and military-grade engineering that just became available to civilians. These next platforms weren't built for the commercial market. They were built for contracts. And now they're here. Daniel Defense DD4X1. Most rifles try to cool the barrel. This one hides the heat. The Daniel Defense DD4X1 wraps the barrel in a visible carbon fiber sleeve. You can see it through the handguard vents, It's not just aesthetics, it's thermal signature reduction. The design came from a British Special Forces contract. The goal was to lower infrared visibility during sustained fire. Carbon fiber conducts heat differently than steel. It dissipates faster. And it keeps the barrel's thermal profile lower under night vision and thermal optics. The handguard ventilation isn't decorative. It's functional airflow, designed to work with the carbon sleeve for maximum heat dissipation. For a while, civilian access to military contract designs like this was limited. Either they stayed classified, or they got watered down for the commercial market. But now, the full-spec version is available. No compromises, no civilian downgrade. If you're running night ops, or if you just want to see what military thermal management looks like when it hits the civilian market, the DD4X1 just became accessible. PSAX 5.7 for years. The MP7 silhouette belonged to military units and nobody else. Now you can buy one. The PSAX 5.7 replicates the form factor. Compact frame, shoulderable brace, and chambered in 5.7 by 28. Now, the same round designed to penetrate body armor at close range. It feeds from standard PSA rock magazines. It runs blowback, and it handles like the PDW it's designed to imitate. This isn't a clone. It's a legal civilian interpretation of a platform that was restricted for decades. The manual of arms is familiar if you've run AR pattern guns. The aesthetics are distinct, and the fact that it exists at all is a result of the regulatory shift. For a while, getting your hands on anything that looked like an MP7 was basically impossible, unless you had a dealer license and connections. Most folks gave up and moved on. But now, with the brace rules rolled back and platforms like this hitting the market, that's changed. If you've been waiting for accessible 5.7 in a PDW package, the X 5.7 is finally here. Rideout Arsenal Dragon. Now the barrel is on the bottom. The slide is upside down. The bore axis is below your trigger finger. That's the Dragon. The Rideout Arsenal Dragon uses lever-delayed blowback to mechanically eliminate muzzle flip. The geometry is inverted compared to every pistol design from the last century. When you fire, the recoil impulse drives straight back into your hand, not up. The muzzle doesn't rise. The dot doesn't climb. It looks wrong. It feels wrong at first, but the physics work. High-speed footage shows almost no vertical movement. Follow-up shots are flat. And the manual of arms, while unconventional, functions exactly as designed. This isn't an incremental improvement on existing pistol designs. It's a complete rethink of how handguns should be built. For a while, designs this radical never made it to production, and they stayed as prototypes or patents that never went anywhere. But the Dragon made it. It's in production, and it's one of the most mechanically interesting handguns to hit the market in years. If you've ever wanted to see what happens when someone ignores 100 years of design tradition and starts from scratch, this is it. CAC Industry, water-cooled, belt-fed upper. Take an AR-15 lower. Now mount a WWI water cooling jacket and a belt feed mechanism on top. That's the KAK upper. It feeds from a cloth ammo belt. It uses a water tank to cool the barrel during sustained fire. And it looks like steampunk tactical, gone completely off the rails. The engineering is real. The belt feed functions. The water jacket actually reduces barrel heat during long strings of fire. Is it practical? Not even a little bit. Then is it visually jarring and mechanically fascinating? Absolutely. This exists because someone at KAK Industry asked, "Can we make an AR-15 run like a Maxim gun from 1914? And the answer was yes. For a while, belt-fed uppers lived in a weird regulatory space. Some designs got classified as machine guns, but with the regulatory rollback, platforms like this are back in circulation, and they're legal to own without the nightmare paperwork. Bronco Arms TAC-SX, the folding hook stock, the aggressive heat shield, the massive forend. You've seen this gun in 100 action movies. The SPAS-12. The Bronco Arms TACSX is a modern clone, and it replicates the mechanical party trick that made the original famous. You can press a button and physically switch the gun from semi-auto to pump action. And that means you can run light target loads in semi-auto for speed, or switch to pump for reliability with heavy slugs and less lethal rounds. It's over-engineered, it's visually aggressive, and it's built to replicate every detail of the Jurassic Park gun that defined 1990s action cinema. For a while, SPAS-12 clones were basically impossible to find. The original was discontinued decades ago. Import bans killed availability, and most reproductions never made it past the prototype stage. But the TAC-SX changed that. It's in production, it functions, and it captures everything that made the original iconic. If you grew up watching that stock unfold on screen and wanted to run one yourself, the TAC-SX just made that possible. We've covered inverted pistols. We've covered belt-fed absurdity. We've covered Hollywood icons. Yet now we're finishing with 3 platforms that redefine what compact firepower looks like when the restrictions lift. Top 3, right now. Flux Defense Raider 365. Ultralight. You're carrying a SIGP 365 in your pocket. Now snap it into a chassis. Spring-loaded brace deploys. Suddenly you're holding a shouldered PDW. That's the Flux Defense Raider 365 Ultralight. The transformation takes under a second. The deployment is aggressive, and the manual of arms shifts from concealed carry pistol to stable shooting platform instantly. It's not a holster. It's not an accessory. It's a mechanical conversion system that changes what the gun is. The brace lock's solid. The trigger guard is integrated. And the whole setup adds minimal bulk until you need it. For a while, chassis systems like this lived in a legal gray zone. Was it a pistol? Was it a short-barreled rifle? Nobody wanted to find out the hard way. But with the brace rule rollback, that gray zone disappeared. The Raider 365 is legal, and it's one of the fastest pocket-to-PDW conversions on the market. If you've been looking for a carry gun that can transform into something more capable in under a second, this is it. Silencer Co. Maxim 9. Most pistols tolerate suppressors. This one was built around one. The Silencer Co. Maxim 9 integrates the suppressor into the slide and frame. It's not threaded on. It's not an afterthought. It's part of the gun. The suppressor is modular. You can run it short and tight or long and quiet depending on your load. So you feed it subsonic 9mm and you're getting hearing-safe shots without extra gear. No threading, no adapters, no waiting for parts to align. It looks like no other pistol on the market. The profile is thick, the balance is forward, and the manual of arms is standard striker fired, just quieter. For a while though, this gun was basically dead in the water. Yeah, it's cool, but nobody wanted to wait 6 months or a year for a stamp. That killed the market. Most folks stuck with a threaded Glock and called it a day. But now that's changed. Under the new administration, suppressor approvals are moving fast. No more limbo. You still need a stamp, but it's not a year-long nightmare anymore. The Maxim 9 is back in play. And if you've been looking for a purpose-built, hearing-safe home defense platform that doesn't need a bunch of extra gear to run, see, this is it. CZ Scorpion 3+ Micro. You don't always need a boutique rifle or a fancy suppressor to get the job done. Sometimes a simple 9mm subgun with good bones, great control, and modern updates is all it takes. The CZ Scorpion 3+ Micro checks every one of those boxes, and it just made its return to the spotlight. This gun's been around in one form or another since the Cold War, but the 3+ Micro version brings it into modern fighting shape. Flared magwell, ambi controls, improved grip angle, and a cold hammer forged 4.2-inch barrel. It's short, it's lightweight, and it's ready for work. It runs straight blowback, which makes it an awesome suppressor host, and it eats whatever ammo you throw at it without drama. Now, here's the deal. This thing was nearly killed off by the brace crackdown. And the TF was floating the idea of reclassifying brace pistols like this one as short-barreled shotguns. Shotguns. You heard that right. That legal mess had CZ'd fans nervous. And for good reason. Most folks backed off. Dealers paused shipments. And the Scorpion sat in limbo waiting for clarity. But once the brace rule got torched in 2025, the Scorpion 3+ Micro snapped back into action. It's a pistol again. No stamp. No confusion. No waiting. It undercuts a lot of the boutique options out there. And it's a ton of fun to shoot. Whether you're clearing rooms, running drills, or just mag-dumping steel, it's compact, affordable, and it runs. That's why it lands the #1 spot. So there you have it. 15 firearms that used to be tied down by red tape, legal gray zones, and endless wait times. And now they're back. Some brace pistols you can run without fear. Suppress platforms that don't take a year to process. and rifles that beat the system in court and came out swinging. The laws didn't make these guns better, but freedom sure did. If there's one thing this list proves, it's that when the pressure eases off, innovation shows up fast. So whether you're into PDWs, suppressed builds, or just want something that finally makes sense to own again, now's your window. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Stay sharp.